Hi everyone, and welcome back to Truth, Health, and Wellness with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. We're excited you've joined us today. We are live, so if you do have any questions, feel free to send them in live on Facebook or call in on the number that'll be on your screen very shortly. So Dr. Matt and Deborah, tell us how your week's been, what you've seen.
Well, super busy week. Very, very busy, especially since we're going out of town Monday back to the Amazon. So we've had a lot going. But at the store, we've had a whole lot going too. Right now, it's norovirus, I think, is kicking in.
Yeah, a lot of stomach virus we have coming in. And of course, the good thing is with P77 and several other things work extremely well for it. So we have something for it. So it's not as much of a shocker. We don't have as many people running to us in fear. They're just preparing, and most of them are already prepared actually. So it's a good thing. But a lot of people don't know also though that many of the same things that can help with coronavirus and influenza can help with the norovirus, and that especially Artemisia, Carvacrol, beta-pinene, the hemp seed oil, and every one of those are found in the P77. So that's just a nice 2-in-1, or actually it's more like a 101 product, but it's good for the stomach virus also. So.
And if they actually come in and already have the norovirus, are they still able to take it and it'll still help, or it's better obviously to catch it before? But
it is. It's good as a preventative, obviously, but so many people are using it therapeutically for the acute issues when they actually get the problem. And that's what most people are really using the P77 for right now. Anyway, of course, I have had a few people just today that were coming in preparing for the COVID. A lot of people believe that they're going to ramp up COVID, especially since that was right. The CDC just released that there's a new vaccine they're recommending that people who are 65 and over get for COVID-19. Just if you're 65 and over. So they haven't killed enough people.
Yeah.
There are too many 40 through 55s who are dying. We need to make sure that the 70 through 80-year-olds also. So that was one of the more ridiculous things I read today.
Oh,
so we know how folks feel about that. It's a controversial topic, but not really with us because we kind of have seen so much. It's pretty evident.
Well, other than that, you've had some great things on your Facebook page this past week. The first one I'm going to go to, though, is you've got some cute little friends in the Amazon. You're going to be visiting, I think. Tell us just a brief little bit about them.
Yeah, we're super excited about that.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. So there's an illegal black market for the animal trade down in Iquitos, Peru. That's where we have we're down about an hour and 30 minutes from Iquitos. We're in the village of Santa Ana, and that's where we have a retreat center and where we do a lot of research and growing our natural medicine and so forth. And we've turned our retreat center also into an animal rescue. Now, part of that's because we care about the animals and we love God's creation. That's a huge part of it. The other part's that we just think it's really cool that we can have sloths, monkeys, and so forth. I mean, really, seriously, we have a family that lives and they're caretakers of the land there in the village of Santa Ana, and it's Santos and his family. And so they have these two little kids. One's a six-year-old boy and about a 3-year-old girl. And they are so happy because we had Nero first, who's the brown woolly monkey.
Okay.
So Nero came along, and we actually met Nero the day we left Iquitos for the airport. So that was kind of heartbreaking.
It was about 4 months ago.
Yeah, but then he was taken that next week down to the jungle. So he's been living with this family, thriving as a sort of a pet monkey that also gets to play all he wants to and go run around, which is like paradise because you get the human food and the jungle food. So then we've been wanting a mate for this little monkey Nero because I'm kind of partial to female animals, and so. What was it, yesterday or the day before yesterday, Percy, our right-hand man down there, he found that there was a female brown woolly, not in the same family as Nero, that was available on the black market that was going to be eaten.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so rather than have this poor little monkey eaten, we
rescued it.
We rescued it. Unfortunately, those people don't just give them away for free,
Yeah.
so we had to. Whether or not that's really helping the illegal animal trade or not, it's controversial too, but the fact was we knew that the monkey was going to be eaten. So we got the monkey, and she's actually going, when's she coming to the jungle?
Today.
I think today.
Or yes, no, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow she's being delivered. But here's the cool thing. At some point between these things happening, I get a message from Percy that he happened to have found 2 sloth, a male and a female, and they're not related, and they're not in the same family.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
And so they were both with the same person, and the person was eagerly trying to
Yeah.
find somebody and then when the person found out that they were going to the jungle to be re-released into the wild, they gave us a super good prize.
Wow.
And so it was really cool. So long story short, we now have 2 sloth. They're happy in the trees right now at the retreat center, and then we have another female monkey. So if folks want to come down and visit, now you have 2 monkeys and 2 sloths to play with if you want to, and if they want to.
I've only seen one sloth in person. That was in LA on a show we were on. But yeah, I saw those pictures, and everyone, please definitely go to their Facebook page and check out those pictures. I'm sure you'll be posting more. So,
Yeah, we will be posting more pictures. Yeah, we'll be there. We're leaving Monday, and we'll be there probably Tuesday.
Yeah.
Would be Tuesday. Yeah, and so of course that's an adventure. It's a very tough trip to get there, but we're excited.
Well, I can't wait to hear when you get back. But let's go ahead and jump in today. I know as well on your Facebook page, you had an amazing testimony this last week. And I know all the commercials and everything talking about diabetes and da-da-da-da-da. It had to do with that kind of sort of. So tell us a little bit about that.
We sort of had the perfect scenario happen. That was where someone came to us immediately after having labs drawn. And basically what they said was, I'm tired of all this, of course what they said was, I'm tired of all this doctor's medicine, and so I want to go on the natural. So of course I'm like, well, you can't just cold turkey get off your medications, but they were determined. And so we had to negotiate with them actually, and we like to work with the physicians and the
Right.
cardiologists and so forth. This individual was pretty dead set, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here, but I was really impressed with the numbers, because what happened was, after they initially came to me, they waited 1 month after they began taking everything, and they had more labs drawn. So the labs were done on, let's see if I have the dates here. Well, it was just 1 month anyway. I actually put the photos because this individual allowed me, or wanted me actually, to post the pictures. Now, of course, their names nowhere on here, any of their personal information. But her total cholesterol went in 1 month. Now, she was taking, I said, meet Miss X. She came to St. John's Nutrition in January with high glucose, even though she was taking metformin, high triglycerides, and high cholesterol, even though she was taking Crestor, a statin drug, and high blood pressure, even though she was on a blood pressure pill. Now, her cholesterol was 312. That's the total cholesterol. Today, or the day that she came in, or actually the day her labs were done, it's 135. So in 1 month, not on her cholesterol medication, but on her supplements, she went from 312 to 135. Her glucose was 123. Now it's 96. Her triglycerides were 224. Now it's 130, which is incredible. And her A1C was 7.0, and now it's 6.7. And that was after 1 month. And she's medication free, and her life's forever changed. So that was the perfect storm. We love when that happens, when people get labs. And a lot of people think, well, you're doing natural medicine and you want labs. Well, sure, why not? If you're actually doing legitimate natural medicine, you should really enjoy the labs, because they're going to validate what you're doing.
The proof's in the labs and the
proof's
numbers,
in the pudding.
you know?
Yeah, and it's there it is. You can't deny it.
And so if people are, diabetic or having trouble with cholesterol and triglycerides, they need to come in and see you. And it would be helpful to have labs. What roughly normally works with that in?
Well, in this example, I can probably pull this up from memory. First of all, we don't truly believe that cholesterol and triglyceride issues are the cause of most cardiovascular disease and deaths of cardiovascular disease. It's inflammation. And most really good cardiologists will tell you it's not cholesterol or dietary cholesterol that's killing people, it's too much inflammation from other things that we're getting. And it may be that they're getting too much dietary cholesterol, but that's not always the case. In this particular case, all they did for there we go. She began taking Cardio 24/7, red yeast rice, and glucose balance. 3 things. That's it. So she was taking the Cardio 24/7, which has the beetroot and the tamarind and the arginine ornithine combination that helps with to get the nitric oxide boosted and the blood pressure drop. And then the red yeast rice, which is basically a natural statin, and then our glucose balance, which of course was helping to balance their glucose, which is once again the A1C went from 7.0 to 6.7. But the big thing is that cholesterol. It's just amazing how fast it worked.
Well, an A1C doesn't move fast either.
No,
That's very slow
1 month.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was shocking to me.
I mean, that's amazing though.
Yeah.
The whole panel.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was so neat because she was proud of herself, and she was proud of what had happened and proud of what we had done, and it was so sweet that she wanted to share that.
Yeah.
That's not very common, and not something that we normally have ever. I don't even know that we've ever done that.
But it helps other people see that, oh my goodness,
Absolutely.
this
It
can
actually
happen.
works.
Well,
and
obviously,
it's-
because this thing's had like 130 shares, and some, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like went like wildfire. And I'm thinking, really, that many people needed to see labs? I would have asked for labs a lot faster, because we can order labs. Can we order labs? We can order some labs.
We can order some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also do glyphosate testing.
Well, it's really easy now for people to kind of order their own labs.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to LabCorp basically and get your own labs most of the time.
And if not, you can have a family practice physician write a prescription or get them to do it, or call in the order. There's a lot more available now than there's ever been. It's almost to a fault, because now you have. I thought I saw something like Hims. I was watching this commercial, and it was a bunch of guys. None of them really looked like a guy, but that's another story. And they were all sad, and one was depressed, and the other one, he was on his diabetes medication. The other one was this, and they were doing. It was basically a mail order pharmacy. But the wild thing was they had their own doctors.
Okay.
So it's not really a mail order pharmacy. It's a place where you call them to tell them what drug you want, and then they get a quack doctor who's been, who probably has like a 1.2 rating out of a 5.0 in his local area, and to validate and write the prescription. And they're advertising this on TV, and I'm sitting there thinking, wow, just you're advertising drugs that you're telling people cause you tuberculosis, death, whatever. Then you're telling them that they just go to this website and request the drug, and some quack will write a prescription for it. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, I wonder how many women are on prostate medication.
That definitely could be happening.
But anyway,
Well, let's go ahead and again, we are live, so if you have any questions, call in with those on the number that'll be on your screen shortly, as well as you can send them in on Facebook, and we will try to get you an answer for those. I'm not sure whether to go straight to that or let's go to another question. Let's go ahead and jump into
Let's
this.
jump straight in.
look at this.
for it.
How about this? You know what this is? Fire cider. Tell them about fire cider, honey.
Fire cider is the apple cider vinegar tonic we were talking about for the last about 4 weeks, because that's how long it has taken for
She's
it
had
to
orange
make.
fingers for 4 weeks.
We've brewed up about 12 gallons of this. It's really good for just a myriad of things. Some people say it's good for everything, but it's good for inflammation, colds, flus. It's even good for acne. It's good for pain. It's good for your, just basically anything.
Tell them what's in it.
Oh, what's in it?
Mm-hmm.
Apple cider vinegar. If I can remember everything, there's a lot in it.
I'm gonna test you.
Onion.
Good
there's
job.
there's onions, garlic, horseradish, ginger. There's orange and lemon. There's oregano and thyme. There's black peppercorns. There's cinnamon sticks. There's honey. There's jalapenos.
I thought you were saying that. That's okay though. You're missing 2 things,
Well,
but you almost have it. Turmeric.
turmeric. I should have known that
You
one.
Yeah.
My orange
Actually, you
fingers.
mentioned turmeric as you were talking about.
I was going to say, I thought
And
she
then
did
one
that.
more thing.
One more thing.
It's not major, but the terpenes are really good for neuroinflammation.
I don't
A
know.
lot of love.
Forgot. A lot of love is in there.
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
There you go.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
rosemary.
And so we actually have a pretty decent batch that was done, and it's amazing because it's all organic. And Shasta says she wants to try bottle
will.
live on the air.
Never
Not the
had
whole
it
bottle at
before.
one time, but I will try a spoonful.
No.
Tablespoon. All you
One
need is a
tablespoon a
tablespoon.
day. That's all you need.
And do you take this normally every day, or only when you're feeling like you? How does that normally
Normally
work for
daily.
you?
People use it as
Every
a
day.
tonic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a wellness tonic.
I'm
It's
gonna
good
let
for
you
your
go
immune
for it.
system, and it's good for energy. So if you need a boost of daily
Alrighty.
energy, take you some.
It helps you see better too.
Oh, good. All right.
You have it.
I don't have anything, but it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can get it up here without spilling it.
If she turns green and passes out, then we'll just have to cut the feed.
Is it like take it like a shot?
Exactly.
Just like
I
that?
actually like that.
Also,
I'm weird, but I really like it.
I
Well,
like
do
it too.
yeah.
Isn't
It's
it
really
good?
Okay, they had me a little scared at first, but no, I really like it.
The onion and garlic are subtle. They're
It's
way back
very-
in the back. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's
It's got like a sweet what's sweet that make it
Honey
sweet?
is in it, and
Okay.
then there's cinnamon in it. So you can almost, I think, taste some cinnamon, ginger, honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
I think
You
it's
can tell
good.
there's
so
a
you
lot
guys
going
should,
on.
Yeah.
Well, that's yours.
It does have a lot. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to leave it right here so that we can.
And at the end of the show, you can tell us how much extra energy you have.
Uh-oh. We might be swinging from these light fixtures in the top.
Exactly.
But,
All right.
well, let's go ahead and jump into some more questions. And again, anyone out there, if you have any questions, call or send them in. I'm going to go ahead and let's go to this. If we haven't done this one, I keep hearing a lot about medicinal mushrooms. What are your thoughts on mushrooms and what are they used for?
Have you noticed how trendy mushrooms are? Folks watching, are your kids like wearing shirts that have mushrooms on them, like a mushroom with a frog sitting on top
Yeah,
of it?
they're
And
everywhere.
They're everywhere. Most of the mushrooms that you're seeing that are, that they have on animation or that they put on, pictures are Amanita mushrooms. They're the ones that look like the little Smurf Village mushrooms, where it's a
Red top.
red top with little white dots.
yeah.
Right. Well, those are Amanitas. Now that we're told they're poisonous, and they are potentially, but also they're psilocybin-containing mushrooms.
What's
psilocybin? Is an entheogenic medicine, that's hallucinogenic and promotes pineal gland health. It's also illegal. But actually, Amanitas are not illegal. Amanitas are totally legal because they're poisonous.
Okay.
But I would advise people be very careful. Of course, don't consume any Amanita products, and even those that are for sale. Be very careful about them because they sell them at like gas stations and stuff. And so it's but other than those types of mushrooms, which are the funny mushrooms that people talk about, there are so many other medicinal mushrooms that are proving again and again and again, every study, that they just have this invaluable nature to human health. Now, reishi mushroom is one of my favorites because it's really common.
So good.
And it's super inexpensive because it's so common, but it's amazing. It's an antiviral. And I mean, you can tell, reishi mushroom was actually shown to permanently, in some cases, inhibit herpes, the STD. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, there are actually a ton of people who come to St. John's Nutrition who buy reishi mushroom for that.
Does it
alone.
work with fever blisters as well then in that case?
Yes, it does. Both forms of the herpes virus, and it helps with both tremendously. But also during COVID, if you look up, it's kind of funny. Reishi is one of those natural supplements or natural medicines that you can take and just plug in almost any health condition, and then after it put and reishi mushroom. You're like COVID-19 and reishi mushroom. Google, enter, boom. You'll have clinical
wow.
studies. Pneumonia, bacterial pneumonia and reishi mushroom. There will be a study. Athletic performance and reishi mushroom. There will be a study. It's almost just incredible. And so there's reishi, there's shiitake, there's maitake, which are commonly used for like cancer and for immune therapy and that sort of thing. And then there's just turkey tail and lion's mane, and then there's cordyceps, which a lot of people think is a mushroom, but it's not. What is cordyceps?
It's a fungus that grows on the back of a caterpillar.
Really?
Can you believe
But
that?
does it look anything like a mushroom then?
No, not really.
Okay.
So imagine people for like about 3 years of their life taking something called cordyceps, and they're happy. It gives me energy. It helps my immune system. And then you're like, okay, well, are you enjoying your caterpillar fungus? And they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
And you explain to them that that's where it comes from, and they're a little surprised. So that's a wild one. But there are so many different. What it amounts to, these mushrooms have polysaccharides, and polysaccharides aren't found in many other things in nature like they are in mushrooms. And these polysaccharides have incredible mimicking effects, and they're able to leach nutrients, and that's what they do to a lot of the trees. But what they also have, in their own composition, are very, very rare nutrients that you can't find anywhere else in nature. So that's why they serve so often as antivirals. And I actually say, and I've said this a lot, I think the future of natural medicine, some of the new breakthroughs, some of the new really incredible things that we're finding, just like with P77, I mean, it's mainly because of the terpenes that P77 works like it does. So I believe in the future, natural medicine is really going to see a lot of mushroom formulations and extracts of mushrooms, and I believe we're going to be looking into terpenes from essential oils. The scent, what gives the odor from terpene, from essential oils, are the terpenes. And so, sort of like this, have you ever heard of myrcene? You've smelled it. You've smelled it in more than one place. You smelled it in California all over the place. You also smelled it every time you pass a dead skunk.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. Tons in California.
Interesting, right?
Like daily, almost, yeah.
So myrcene is this really interesting terpene that's found not only in marijuana or cannabis products. Myrcene is also found in skunk spray.
Interesting.
Why do skunks spray?
In defense mechanism.
To do what? Why? In other words, you're spraying this spray. It doesn't kill its, the
No, to keep people away
the attacker.
or attack. Yeah.
It's to relax the attacker so much they don't want to kill the skunk.
Oh.
Myrcene, in and of itself, even though it's just a terpene, is such a relaxant that when they spray the spray, it relaxes the enemy or the attacker or the predator to the point where don't want to attack it.
They don't care as much.
They don't care.
So if you take it, you're going to keep all these bad people away from you all day long.
I don't know. Maybe so. Sounds like
If you put out the fumes.
You put out the fumes. Of course, if you put out the fumes, you'll also be pulled over, interrogated,
That is true.
stopped at the mall.
That would be true.
Frisked potentially, depending on where you are. But no, it's really But it's neat to say. I mean, whoever thought? Why did God put a certain chemical, and it's a cellular structure that makes the smell. So why did God put that in marijuana or cannabis, and then also say, I think an animal needs it too. Let's stick it in the back of a skunk. How interesting is that? So it shows us in nature how God didn't make any mistakes, how creation is so incredible, and how there's always an answer. Nothing happens by accident. So everything happens because of some sort of chemical reaction or reaction within the body. You don't even think of something without there being a multitude of chemical reactions going on. So there's a reason for everything. In the case of that, that's the myrcene helps to relax the predators of the skunk.
Well, I have a question back to the mushrooms really quick, because so many people do eat them in restaurants like Portobello and the ones you buy in the grocery store, the white and the brown ones. Do those contain as many nutrients as the other ones you're talking about, or no?
Maybe not quite as many of the immune fighting, the immune system building, white blood cell building, T cell enhancing, but they all do.
Okay.
They all have
They
some.
might not have as much, but they all have some.
Okay.
If they're edible, then they're valuable.
Okay.
If you cook them though, does it take out some of the?
It can.
A little bit.
But once again, some can't even, you don't even want to consume raw. Raw.
I know, yeah.
So but cooking can denature a little bit, but not for the most part.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, let's go on to another one here. Seems like we went to that one last week. Do we want to go back to what are your thoughts on using mask for the virus, since we mentioned the possibility of people thinking that's coming back?
Yeah, masks don't work unless they're an N95 or a KN95 or above. Basically, if you don't look like E.T. or an alien or that horrible Metallica video years ago I saw one, then you're really doing no good. Now, whether or not should you be persecuted for wearing a mask? Should you be ridiculed for wearing a mask? Of course not. If somebody's wearing a mask, most likely they're sick.
Yeah.
And if they're sick, that's nice of them to wear something to cover their face, I guess. But you're really not doing yourself any good or anyone else any good. So that's part of the problem too. If you're made to wear the mask, you just have to wear the mask. We just found out that in Peru they just had they have literally a national emergency that they just had of dengue, which is this. So
But they may not know. Explain dengue to them
Well,
briefly.
it's a mosquito-borne illness. When you get bit by the mosquito, it gives you a high fever, and makes you really sick.
They've had about 40 people die, just flat out die from it.
Oh, wow.
Tons
If you don't get quick treatment, it can.
And
be
we're
fatal.
bringing down 2 cases. We're bringing down 24 bottles to Iquitos of our P77, and it's extremely effective against dengue. And it's been working for dengue down there for the people that we've left it with. So we're excited about being able to bring that, but we need a lot more.
Yeah.
We really are trying to work with the Peruvian government about getting licensing to actually provide. The problem is that everyone there is so poor, they can't afford much of anything. So we're going to have to do it through the nonprofit. And the way I look at it is, if we give it to them, they ought to take it.
Yeah.
And especially if it works.
Well, they won't let us ship any down either.
No,
It can't come. It can't be shipped in. We have to carry it.
They freeze it at customs every time we try to ship it there, regardless of why. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But we found out that this is going on. So as we're going in, there's a chance that once we get on that flight that goes from Lima to Iquitos, that they're going to. One time they actually made me. They stood me there and would not let anybody else on the plane or me on the plane until I double masked.
He had one on, but he didn't have 2, so they
Right.
weren't letting him keep going.
I was about to get thrown out of the country, and thankfully she had an extra mask, and everybody was calmed me down a little bit. But I just shut up and had my mask. I kept eyeballing
Like, seriously?
that lady. That was,
He does not like one mask, much
Right,
less.
right.
Yeah, don't make me wear a mask or stand in the line I don't need to stand in.
Well, on to another question. I have a fungus under my toenail that will not go away. Can you help?
Well, I mean, that's not funny, but it's neat to hear questions like that sometimes that are just. I mean, this is a nagging issue. This is something that keeps people from wearing sandals. This is something that keeps people from being comfortable in the summer. They're running around in steel-toed boots during the when everybody else is at the beach.
Exactly.
That's no fun. And so I understand it's annoying. It will go away eventually if you can get yourself antifungal enough, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is we have. Fungus doesn't start on the outside, it starts on the inside. And so if we're wanting to get rid of fungus, we have to take things to get us, that way. Just using topicals doesn't work. Well, if the topicals did work, they wouldn't be having this problem.
Right.
So you can do things like what I like to do, I like to put people on or have people look at Pau d'Arco, which is a wonderful Peruvian plant that long before I ever thought about going to Peru, we've been using. But the plant is really good at helping to serve as an antifungal and anticystitic. It helps with abnormal tissue growth. But it's really neat how when you take it, you start to feel better. But it takes weeks and months sometimes for it to really get to where it's really serving as an antifungal, because there are a lot of issues, candida, fungus, and all kind of abnormal growths in our body. But it works over time, and it's really neat too because you can complement the internal consumption of Pau d'Arco by making a foot bath, basically like a big tea. And we talked about the ionic foot baths and how they were a scam. Well, this is not a scam. This is a foot bath that we're basically like putting about three Pau d'Arco tea bags into, and you're making a tea, and then you're steeping your feet in this tea, like for about 20 to 30 minutes. So people will do that for a few weeks, they'll be shocked.
Tea tree oil too can help with toenails.
Topically, after you get them out of the foot bath,
yeah,
you can treat it with tea tree oil. And you've heard of tea tree oil.
Yeah.
It was very popular years ago, but and I'm not a huge tea tree oil fan as much as a lot of other people. I've seen a lot of people using it topically on their face and it causing more problems than helping. But for fungus, it is good, and so treating it with that after you get them out of the foot bath can be a real plus.
And what if you just drank the Pau d'Arco tea with that?
Yeah, I'm wanting people just to drink the tea or take the capsules or do a tincture while they're also doing the foot bath.
Foot bath. Okay.
Inside out.
Well, we have just a few more minutes left here. Let's go to, I have struggled with tinnitus. Am I saying it right? Tinnitus for many years. Have you found anything that helps with that?
Yes, tinnitus, a ringing of the ears. And a lot of people have this issue. Normally it's sort of exacerbated by, working in factories, loud music, but it's very interesting because glyphosate intake can actually cause tinnitus.
Oh, wow.
Well, it has to do with the leaching of the manganese.
Right. Glyphosate leaches manganese. It actually removes the manganese from your body, and then you end up with a deficiency. So supplementation of manganese works, 9 times out of 10 for us?
Almost every
Really?
time.
It's amazing. And now we're not talking magnesium, manganese for tinnitus. And for what also goes along with the tinnitus is your equilibrium being messed up. Having a problem with your equilibrium along with the tinnitus, and it's miserable. It drives people crazy. It was so neat because we actually had someone, CBD can actually help a lot. And I remember a fella who he took CBD for the first time. He called me. He had gotten it on Wednesday. He calls me on Friday, and he says, "I just wanted to tell you that for 30 years I haven't had a moment's peace with my ears."
Wow.
He said, "So I took the CBD, and 3 hours later my ears stopped ringing." And I said, "That's amazing." I said, "So how's it doing now?" And he said, I didn't take it yesterday because I wanted to talk to you first." And I thought, why? Why did you need to talk to me first? I mean, why did you need me for?
Well, he wasn't taking the CBD for tinnitus, is the thing.
No,
it was just a whole different thing.
It was a whole different reason.
Wow.
It almost scared him. So he started, I'm like, he's like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "Get back on the CBD is what you should do." And he did, of course, and he was asking me to make sure. And he's been tinnitus free ever since.
Really amazing.
Yeah, and when you take a 60-year-old man who's for 30 years had tinnitus, that's exciting. How much that can plague a person and really affect a person's personality is outrageous. So we're super happy about that one.
Well, again, we want to thank everyone out there for joining us again today. And again, send in your questions to Dr. Matt and Deborah's Facebook page at any time, and they'll get those answered for you. We will be back here with you next week. We hope you have a great week.